Does anyone else but me remember the Nintendo Alarmo? Because I feel like this thing is just so weird, and basically no one talks about it. Now, this thing was announced way back on October 9th, 2024, and I feel like even since its initial reveal, this thing was always just seen as one of the weirdest and dumbest products that Nintendo has ever made. However, if you know basically nothing about what the Alarmo actually is, let me give you a quick rundown on what this thing is all about. Now, the Alarmo is essentially just an interactive alarm clock that plays various sounds and music from a few games whenever the person is going to bed or waking up in the morning. The thing that makes this unique though is that it senses the person's movement and either gets more aggressive or less aggressive depending on how long the person is taking to get up. They also feature themes based around a bunch of different Switch games like Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild. And even though this idea is kind of cool, this is where some of the problems begin. Instead of having a bunch of themes that you could choose from at the very beginning, this thing is actually kind of like a live service alarm clock, with it being updated over time to add more themes. This is just the stupidest thing that I've ever heard of. And I understand having this thing connected to the internet in order to track your sleeping patterns, but having the thing update over time to add more themes is just so dumb. I also think the whole concept of this thing is just super stupid. And even though I do think it's kind of a good idea for smaller kids, I think waking up to the Mario coin sound is one of the worst things I could ever imagine. This product is just a pure example of Nintendo's efforts to incorporate themselves and their IP into everyday life. And even though this idea does work well with things like the Nintendo Today app and the Nintendo Music app, an alarm clock like this is just so dumb. I think a better idea of this would just to be to add it into the Nintendo Music app, where you could just set alarms using the different songs in that app. So yeah, even though this product is kind of funny to think about, it's one of the dumbest Nintendo products ever made, and certainly didn't sell well because it's $100+ for a fucking alarm clock.